भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, sloka number 13. Dehinosmin yata dehe, Dehinosmin yata dehe, Kaumaram yauvanam jara, Kaumaram yauvanam jara, Tata dehantara praptir, Tata dehantara praptir, Dhirastatra na muhyati, Dhirastatra na muhyati. Translation. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. Okay. So this is a very nice shloka, one of the first important slokas, right? So Krishna is currently delivering his first lesson to Arjuna. The first lesson in the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna is, you are not this body, you are the soul, right? So when Krishna says that to Arjuna, Krishna gives him very nice systematic explanations, examples, okay, to depict and to make Arjuna and all of us understand this concept. Okay, so here Krishna tells Arjuna that our bodies, we can clearly see the changes in our body, right? So Kaumaram, Yauvanam, Kaumaram, childhood, Yauvanam, youth, Jara, old age, we can see how the body is evolving, right? So the same body evolves, okay? There are changes that are happening. So we are not bewildered by those changes, right? The fact that the body, the current body is changing. So similarly, that body will just after old age, then the soul enters another body at the time of death. So there's nothing to be bewildered by, right? That's what Krishna is telling Arjuna here. It's just a change. Just as the body is changing from boyhood to youth to old age, so similarly it will change again after old age. You get a new body, right? So we are the spirit soul, we are not the body. Although there's a change of body, okay, the identity is preserved, correct? So there's nothing to be bewildered about, right? Now Arjuna is lamenting that Bhishma and Drona, they are respectable for me, and how can I destroy their bodies, right? So, or how can I facilitate the destroying of their bodies, even though I may not do it directly? Or, Arjuna has this argument. So Krishna is saying, see, the body is changing, and then at the end the body enters a new body. So if they get a new body, what's the problem? They have already gone through all the phases of the current body, and now it's time for them to get new bodies. They have gone through Kaumaram, Yauvanam, Jara. So there's no cause of lamentation. When they get new bodies, when Bhishma and Drona get new bodies, they will actually be rejuvenated. They will have better bodies. So it's a time to rejoice. Why are you lamenting? Okay. And Bhishma and Drona were good souls. They performed pious activities. They were very righteous. So they will have only one of two destinations. Either they will enjoy in the heavenly planets, or they will get a spiritual body which will help them to end their cycle of birth and death. So in any case, you should not lament. You should be happy, because this is for the better, because they're anyway going to obtain a higher destination. So that's what Krishna is telling Arjuna, right? And then apart from that, in this shloka, Krishna also says the word dhira. Dhirastatra na muhyati. Dhira means sober. Okay? A sober person is never bewildered by such a change, right? Now, if you see, Krishna is giving us a very intrinsic, very essential lesson here on how we are the spirit soul, right? On how we are not the body. See, we are changing. If you look at your previous photos when you were a baby, or when you were in college, or when we just got married, whatever. So obviously there's a change in the body, right? There's a change in the body, there's a change in the bone structure. There's so many changes in our body from the last 20 years, 30 years, right? But why is it that we still consider that to be ourselves? There is some common identity, right, between that body and this current body that we have. So that proves that there is something, the body doesn't identify us, because the body is changing. It's not constant, but still we are identifying that is me and this is also me. So what is that common factor that is enabling us to still identify with that body and this body and say that it's the same? There is a different identifier. The body is not the identifier, right? We can understand that quite clearly. So this gives us the conclusion that the soul is actually the identifier, not the body, because the body will change, right? The body will change in this lifetime, and then you will get another body, but the common identifier is actually the soul, right? So Krishna teaches us this very, very pictorically actually in this shloka, right? And now the word dhira, we go back to the word dhira. So the word dhira means sober, a sober person, right? So any person, Prabhupada defines the word dhira in the purport. I'll just read from the purport, okay? Any man who has perfect knowledge of the constitution of the individual soul, the super soul and nature, both material and spiritual, is called a dhira, or a most sober man. Such a man is never deluded by the change of bodies. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, right? Krishna is telling Arjuna, how can you be deluded? You are supposed to have perfect knowledge of the individual soul and the super soul and the nature of both the material nature, the spiritual nature. So you are supposed to be dhira. You are supposed to be steadfast and sober. You are not supposed to be deluded by the change of bodies, Krishna is telling Arjuna, right? So we should strive to achieve that state of dhira, or soberness. This is what the Lord desires. And the Lord emphasizes that to Arjuna by saying, Kaunteya, if we read the shloka, right? Kaumaram yauvanam jara tata dehantara prapti. Okay, yeah. That's in the next shloka. But yeah, so this dhira, the Lord wants Arjuna to remain sober in spite of the changes that are happening, or in spite of knowing that bodies will change. We should be able to be sober with this knowledge when we know that there's the soul and the spirit soul. Okay, so now let's go to the next shloka. Today we're supposed to also go through shloka number 14. Okay, so in this next shloka, Arjuna is going to demonstrate to Krishna how even by killing you're actually not doing anything wrong. Okay, so the next shloka, chapter 2, shloka number 14. Matra sparshastu kaunteya, matra sparshastu kaunteya, shitoshna sukha dukkada, shitoshna sukha dukkada, agama payino anityas, agama payino anityas, tam stitikshasva bharata, tam stitikshasva bharata. Translation: O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, O Shion of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. So a very, very valuable lesson here, right? So what is Krishna saying? Krishna is saying that in the proper discharge of duty, okay, different things will occur, right? When we go about doing our duty, there's happiness and there's distress. Okay, both are not permanent, right? But we have to continue following the religious principles in spite of what comes our way. So, for example, in the Vedic injunctions, according to the Vedic injunctions, one has to take bath early in the morning, right? Prabhupada describes this in the purport. It's a very beautiful purport, actually. So we have to take a bath early in the morning, okay? So regardless of the time of the year, even though it's winter season, of course, in the summer, it's really nice to take a cold water bath early in the morning. But in the winter, it may not be so. You know, in the winter, it may actually be an austerity to take a cold water bath early in the morning. But a person who follows the Vedic injunctions will not hesitate to take a bath early in the morning, even in the winter season, because that is to be done. I have to do it. It's okay, right? Just do it and get it over with, get it done with. I'll just tolerate it, right? So, similarly, a woman in the winter, it may be very nice to cook in the kitchen because it's nice to keep warm and the warmth that is coming out of the cooking fire. But in the summer, like now, right, May, June, April, it's very hot and it may not be very pleasant to cook in the kitchen during this time. But a woman does it because the family has to be fed, right? It has to be done. So that's a duty. So that is tolerated, right? For a higher purpose. It is tolerated. So Prabhupada is saying, and Krishna is telling Arjuna, okay, Prabhupada writes in the purport, one has to execute his duty in spite of climatic inconveniences. So similarly, to fight is the religious principle of the Kshatriyas. And although one may have a friend, one may have a relative, one should not deviate from his prescribed duty. It is very important to follow our prescribed duty, come what may. Okay? So, and then basically Krishna is telling Arjuna, if you want to rise up to the platform of knowledge, you have to follow your prescribed duty. And Krishna puts pressure on Arjuna, right? Because we can see here, right, after the previous verse and this verse as well, we can see Krishna says, Matra sparshastu Kaunteya. Kaunteya means, O son of Kunti. And then at the end, he also says, Tam stitikshasva Bharata. Okay, so Arjuna is a son of Kunti, he's a Shion of Bharata. So from both sides, he comes from very great parentage, right? He comes from very great parentage. So if you're coming from such great parentage, how can you not tolerate these small inconveniences? You should know that you have to follow your prescribed duty, whatever inconveniences may come. You have to tolerate for a higher purpose. So this is also for us to remember, dear devotees. When we perform our prescribed duties, when we go about the course of our day, some things happen, right? Some things happen. Different things come and go, right? But we have to tolerate everything because we know when we have a higher goal, right? We do not get frustrated and ticked off by little things. When we have a higher goal, we work towards that. And whatever may come in the way, okay, just tolerate it, deal with it, and move on. Tolerate it, deal with it, and move on. That should be our goal. That's what would make us dhira or sober. Okay, so 2 wonderful shlokas today. And we'll continue with chapter 2 tomorrow. But now, since it's Purushottam Mas, so let us also